to actually try our hand on it out in the wild in a Alaskan stream was really fun.
Our names are Mike and Heather. We're traveling the US in our van Appa on a mission to visit all 50 states. Subscribe and join us as we try to figure out this whole van life thing. As always, thanks for watching. Hello and welcome to another great day here in Alaska. Yesterday we celebrated Mike's 30th birthday at the Chena Hot Springs, where we got to go into the ice castle, smash some cool drinks. That'll hopefully bring us some luck. Soaked up the hot springs and just had a really lovely time. We are back down in the Fairbanks area today for the next few days to hopefully catch some northern lights, because they are supposed to be visible if the clouds clear up, which there's some patches of blue sky, so I'm hopeful that we'll be able to see them, because the next couple of days it's forecasted for them to actually be on the strong side. But today, while we wait for it to turn nights to hopefully try to see the northern lights, we are going to go gold panning. A few days ago, also in the Fairbanks area, we stopped in at Gold Daughters, which is a place that you can pan for gold and you're guaranteed to find gold. So there we got a little bit of gold fever and we're itching to get back out there and go gold panning once more.
We were fortunate enough to find a place about 20 minutes outside of Fairbanks on the Stees Highway, which is where we're heading now. I don't know how valuable in terms of gold per yard it is there, but if there's a chance to find gold in a free location that it says is good for beginners, which is absolutely what we are so excited to go try it out.
We are parked directly across the street from the Felix Pedro Monument. He was the first person to find gold in this Fairbanks area, and so they made a monument on his behalf, and across the street from the monument is where he first found the gold, where they now allow the public to be able to go and search for it itself. So really cool history here, and hopefully we get lucky. Now, we don't really have that much gold panning equipment. We have a gold pan, which, where did we tuck that? Is it back here?
Yeah.
We don't really have that much space in our tiny van, and we were looking up like all the gold equipment that you actually need, like the sleuth bucket and
colanders and like
colanders. People use metal detectors for this, so we're very, very basic. All we have is a pan, and I can't even get to it. We purchased this pan from Gold Daughters. We also have a shovel that we use for digging cat holes while we're camping. So will you be able to use this?
just like the original gold prospectors.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We were told we do need to scratch up the bottom of our gold pan to make sure the flakes stick in there, especially around the corners. So we'll grab some rocks and make sure we do that. It looks like there's a little pool that you can pan out of, some spots that look like they've been dug out from the side of the bank. So this is probably an area that people come to pretty regularly, but I think it's still gonna be amazing. And for us, this is perfect because, like we've said, we're not experts and we're probably just barely beginners.
In the very little research that we did online, we learned that gold is heavy. That's why it stays at the bottom of the pan. So when you are going in dirt piles and such, you want to go more towards the base. I'm gonna set up the chairs because we gotta take turns. We only had room in our van for one gold panning kit, so I'll let Mike take the lead on this.
Just looking for a good rock to scuff.
Yeah, but first we have to scuff the bottom.
All right, you ready for our first pan? I'm so excited, Heather. So we went to Gold Daughters and they kind of taught us a method of gold panning. So with this first bit, after you fill up your pan with dirt, you want to just make sure that all of that dirt is loosened up so that the dirt can get loose and go out of your pan. And then you start just kind of mixing it up, getting all the dirt to get suspended in the water. And then you're just trying to get down to as little as possible in there. As the water in your pan gets clearer, it means you're getting more of that loose dirt out and you're just being left with sediments and particles, which is what you want to be able to look through. You can then start separating out the larger rocks and start working your way down to the pieces of gold, hopefully.
When you walked into the room, I couldn't keep my eyes off of you. Was it make-believe or was it a dream?
No luck for me on the first pan.
My turn.
Are you gonna dig from there I would actually try maybe a different spot because that felt.
Digging that hole because somebody else has dug in that hole and dug a lot in that hole. So a lot of people look to have dug in that little hole, and that's where Mike's getting our next pay dirt from.
I've been waiting all my life. Feels like I've struck a gold mine with your hand in mine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've still got the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. Oh, the rest of our lives.
Take 2 is a bus, so now it's Mike's turn. Just a little bit further from the spot that we were panning in, Mike is getting his next dirt pile, so we'll see if that's any more luck. But it does look like quite a bit of people come down to this section and pan as well, because there's a couple more holes and you can see a lot more places where people have been digging, including a giant mountain to the left.
This is pan number 3.
We have been panning for a few hours now. I've lost track of the amount of pans that we've actually gone through looking for gold. Unfortunately, we haven't found anything yet. Now, that's not to say that there isn't gold here. I think it's definitely that we have really no idea what we're doing. And it's probably user error to a certain extent. Both of us are having a lot of fun doing this, so we would stay out for a little while longer, but the sun is setting and we need to find a place to boondock for the night. All that to say is that we're doing one more pan. Mike has the honors of doing the last one for the day, so fingers crossed we get some gold. Last one.
Last one.
No gold?
It doesn't seem to be. Here, hold that. It's a really nice big piece of garnet.
Although we haven't found any gold quite yet, we've been finding a lot of garnet, which is a birthstone for January, so that's pretty cool. Not as cool as gold though.
We were finding garnet all day. Figured we would keep a couple pieces, but no gold. I'm so glad that we came out and tried it because gold panning has been one of the most fun things we've done here. So to actually try our hand on it out in the wild in an Alaskan stream was really fun. Even if it's not a spot that we found anything, I think for what it is, it's a good, safe place to go panning. It's right near the road, so you don't have to hike in or anything. I think that if you're up here and you want to try it, it's not a bad place to get your feet wet. Yeah.
We have admitted defeat. Although we were unsuccessful in finding gold, we still had a lot of fun.
We are heading back into Fairbanks, and we will probably be on the lookout for good spots to see the northern lights from. As you can see, it's overcast, but I think that this is maybe our best chance within the next couple days to see them. So we're hoping the weather will break a little bit. We heard from a local that there are a few good spots in the Fairbanks area to check out the northern lights, and they're both free. So we're going to scope out those areas and see which one is going to work best for us.
We have made it to the spot where we will hopefully see the northern lights tonight, and we are at the Chena Recreational River.
Chena Lake Recreation Area.
What he said. It is a really nice park area. They have a basketball court, a little play area.
Picnic tables, you can swim here. The fall colors are absolutely beautiful here, and the lake that we're looking out over is so flat that the reflection is just perfect.
So there's a lot of clouds in the sky now, but if you look over that way, it's a little bit more clear. But hopefully we will see the northern lights. We have positioned our van to face north, which is straight ahead, and the view by itself without the northern lights is absolutely amazing with the water and the reflection, and yeah, It's just really cool to be here in Alaska during the fall because the fall colors are just amazing.
A nice convenience for this spot if you are trying to see the northern lights, or even if you were to come here, I guess, for the day use aspect of it, there are bathrooms, which is definitely a cool convenience to have if we're hanging out here until 2 or 4 in the morning.
So the plan is to have dinner, work a little bit, so we got some work to get caught up on, and then hopefully see the northern lights tonight. A couple locals suggested this place, so I think it's okay to be able to stay here if you're trying to see the northern light, but this is a day use area. It looks like we did pass a campground down the road, but that looked to be closed, so we'll probably stay here until the morning and then drive to Walmart for the rest of the night.
I am fairly well now. I am strong. I am goodbye. I'm a long way from home. I am an orchard at the start of spring. I am a mockingbird. I love to sing, and I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. I am an old road walking on my feet. I am laughing neath the weeping willow tree. I am a dog barking, a honeybee sting. I ain't no angel, but I've got my wings. I'm gonna fly. 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 I'm gonna fly.
Quick update, it is about 11:30 and there's still no Northern Lights activity. We're just working on our laptops, kind of hanging out, trying to stay up till at least 3:30 because from everything that we're reading online and the locals, they've told us that basically the Northern Light showings kind of starts at 10 and you want to make sure that you stay until at least 3. So it is a little bit cloudy, but I keep checking the forecast, and after midnight it's supposed to drop to only about 50% cloud coverage, where right now it's at 80. So hopefully with half the sky clear, we'll be able to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I think we can actually see a little bit of the sky clearing up out in the distance, so hopefully that continues to work its way over to us. If not, maybe we'll catch a glimpse of it peeking through those openings in the clouds. So fingers crossed, like always with Alaska weather, you never know, but I think that if we can see it, we should be able to, because it's right around that point on the forecast for the aurora where they would be visible to the naked eye. So definitely hoping.
Another update, it is just nearly 3. Okay.
It's past 3.
So it is just past 3 a.m. It is 3:10. We've been looking out periodically, but for the past about half hour, 45 minutes, we have been actively driving around this little area trying to find the best place that points north. We do see stars out, so the sky has completely cleared, but we're not seeing any northern lights. So there's a little bit of night left, so you never know, but unfortunately, we haven't seen anything yet. The third update is that there is no update. Unfortunately, it is the next morning and we did not see the northern lights. So the game plan for kind of the end of our Alaska journey, because this is really our last full day here in Alaska, is to start heading back down the Alaska Highway from the Fairbanks area. So we took the Alaska Highway all the way up to Tok and then veered off to head down to the Kenai Peninsula and then up and then kind of do a circle around Alaska. But we didn't quite make it to the end of the Alaska Highway, which ends here in Fairbanks. So we are going to go to the Fairbanks end location, take that back down to Tok, where we are going to spend the night and hopefully see the northern lights, because Tok is supposed to have a really clear, beautiful weather tonight. with a good chance of seeing the Northern Lights. So fingers crossed it works out and we get to see the Northern Lights one last time before we head down to the lower 48 through Canada.
Right now we are in a laundromat parking lot because we have a lot of dirty clothes that we want to take and get cleaned up. And then we actually found that there is a Planet Fitness in Fairbanks. So we're going to get our clothes washed and then we're going to get washed up. And then we will begin our, I guess, trek back towards the lower 48, which is kind of sad.
I know.
I think we've had so much fun in Alaska and we've done so many amazing things. It doesn't feel like we've been here, coming up towards a month? Mm-hmm. Not quite a month, but almost. I think when all is said and done between the Alaska highway travel up and down, the time we've spent here, it'll be close to a month, which doesn't feel like it was enough time to have seen and done everything. We could probably spend a year here, so without a doubt this is somewhere where we will come back to do some of the things that we loved as well as trying new things. Mm-hmm. But for now it is a familiar story of laundromat parking lot and figuring out if we have enough quarters.
And Planet Fitness. We just wanted to make sure that we have enough clothes. We did a little grocery shop this morning at the Walmart that we ended up staying the rest of the night at last night, and taking a shower because, as we learned the last time on the way up, they're few and far between. But first, laundry. You always feel so much better after a shower. We are now headed towards the end of the Alaska Highway here in Fairbanks. It's kind of like the unofficial end in Fairbanks because the real end is in Delta Junction, which is about 96 miles south of here, or about an hour and a half. So we will get to that today, but we are starting the beginning of the end here in Fairbanks as we make our way to the Alaska Highway once more.
We are here in Delta Junction. We've come over to the visitor center where they have a marker for the end of the Alaska Highway.
So it's very fitting that the visitor center is now closed for the season as well, as our season here in Alaska is coming to a close.
From this point, we are 1,422 miles away from the beginning of the Alaska Highway in Dawson Creek, so we have a lot of driving there. We are making our way down to Tok tonight, which was kind of the first town that we came to here in Alaska. So that's where we're staying tonight. The forecast is pretty good for seeing the Northern Lights, and the weather forecast is pretty good for seeing the Northern Lights. So fingers crossed that this, our last night here in Alaska, is going to yield beautiful views of the auroras.
Thank you all for joining us with our Alaskan journeys. We've had an absolute blast, and we hope that you join us as we make our way back down the Alaska Highway. We'll see you all in the next one.